Hello and welcome to another IELTS essay question. The purpose today is not to discuss this question itself. I won't be discussing all the details. Here we are going to discuss some of the lexical resources. The idea is to help students understand what exactly does IELTS exam mean by lexical resources. And there is a lot of confusion, and this student has made a few mistakes while trying to build a better vocabulary, while trying to build better lexical resources. Well, that thing didn't work. Why it didn't work, I'm going to discuss that, and what things need to be done. What exactly is the meaning of lexical resource? I will be explaining it through practical example over here and not through theoretical articles or a theoretical lecture, but what exactly does it mean when you write it? So the question today is, some countries are struggling with an increase in the rate of crime. Many people think that having more police on the streets is the only way to reduce the crime, whereas others say giving them education can do wonders. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Firstly, before I begin this answer, the question statement is wrong since grammatically them is incorrect. It does not refer to criminals. It refers back to police. There is no mention of criminals in this essay, in this statement so far. So them does not refer back to criminals. Having said that, accepting that the mistake doesn't exist, let us come to the answer. Well, the first word itself is wrong. The question here is some countries, and the student writes few countries. Well, there's a lot of difference between few and some. Now, assuming this is a continuum, this is a continuum, and on the one end of the continuum is a lot of people, so it's many. On the other end are a very, very small number of people, so we can call them few. And somewhere in the middle are some. So some is not same as few. They are different. Secondly, few sometimes has a negative connotation. It is used in a negative sense. Some is used in a positive sense. A somewhat more closer to some is a few. A few means enough. So while few means very little, so few is not the exact synonym for some. And in the process of just trying to paraphrase the things, the student has made a mistake. So that these things need to be avoided. This is not a lexical resource. This will not contribute to your lexical resource score. Please understand that. Some countries are finding it difficult to handle the increased criminal activities. Now, the word handle does not convey any meaning. Lexical resource means that you are using appropriate words. Let me write over here. Appropriate words. Appropriate words mean that the words convey a clear meaning. What is the meaning of handle? It does not mean anything. So handle does not mean control. Does not mean the police is trying to control the crime. So it does not have a clear meaning. While control here has a clear meaning. It is not mentioned in the question statement anywhere. The question is about struggling, and if you use the word control, that contributes to lexical resource. Control the increased criminal activity in their region. Now, this is a mistake. When you repeat some things which are redundant, this is redundancy. Redundancy means that you are using the words that are not conveying any meaning. So that reduces your lexical resource score. So not only this makes your sentence a bit weird, since you have mentioned countries, there is no need of writing in their region. Of course, the countries will control the crime within their own legal boundaries. So there's no need of mentioning in their region. So this reduces your lexical resource score as well. So keep that in mind. Try to avoid redundant words that do not convey any meaning. Well, there are a few things that can be improved in introduction by mentioning reasons, but the focus here is on lexical resources. Let us proceed further. To begin with, keeping more safety forces. What do you mean by safety forces? Again, just like handle, Safety forces does not convey any meaning. The student is trying to use different words for policemen, and these words are not appropriate. I forgot to mention protection forces. Well, protection forces, just like safety forces, does not mean anything. Now, there are only two words that you can use here: policemen and security forces. These are the words that are appropriate. Okay, so in English language, these are the two words that refer to somebody who is trying to prevent the crime. Nobody says the protection force has arrived. Nobody says the safety force has arrived. But in normal English usage, we talk about the security force has arrived or the policemen have arrived. Okay, whenever there's a crime scene. So that needs to be avoided. That's a lexical resource issue. On the streets will not only help to combat this. So, okay, another thing, yeah, losses. The student writes avoid major losses. Now, which type of losses are you talking about? If you just write financial losses and property losses, this will again contribute to the lexical resources. You are being specific and you are showing to the examiner, okay, I know the words, I know which type of losses could be there. So there are financial losses and property losses, and I have the ability to express them. So there are two types of mistakes going on over here. One are the wrong use of words, handle, protection, safety. Another are words that were never used, that should have been used, financial, property. Okay. Now, the student does more mistakes and in the impression that he needs to change the word police. Okay, this is a common impression among most students. The question is on, let me change the color. The question is on the police, and the students have an impression, okay, I need to change the word police every time. I'm going to write different words: security forces, safety forces, protection forces. These words the student is trying to write, and again, keep changing them. This is the common impression, and well, this is a wrong impression. Your lexical resources constitute a lot of things. They are not just about the words mentioned here, but also about the words that are most appropriate: financial, property, control, some. Okay, and I'll be mentioning a lot of them further. Now, the words which are common in the whole essay, these are the police. Police will be common in the entire essay. It's better to use pronouns, use pronouns to refer back to these nouns. Do not try to use security forces. I mean, security forces is fine, but not safety forces or protection forces for them. Instead, if you feel like changing the word, the best option is pronouns. So pronouns not only prevent your lexical resource mistakes by not using these incorrect words, but also improve cohesion. So this is a doubly beneficial proposition. So try using pronouns. For instance, this is exactly what I've done here. This will improve your score. The presence of a greater number of policemen. Okay, it does something. Then this. This not only helps in what not only helps in the presence of great number of policemen. Moreover, this also protects people from clutches of drug traffickers, everything. Okay, so I have tried to change sentence this and this into somewhat over here. I've tried to link sentence number 1, 2, and 3 over this area so that a better cohesion can be shown. Okay. Now, another lexical resource point is that you should be able to write a good example. Now, a good example contains some data, some facts. Now, I can see some data facts over here. I'm not saying that data facts are lexical resource, but while writing a data or fact-based example, you have ample opportunities to show that you have strong lexical resources and you have the vocabulary to express an example, and that needs to be done efficiently. Now, let us come to the body paragraph 2. Let me use a color. It was so fine. The use of these resources need to be appropriate in all the body paragraphs. So here there's a new lesson. To show your lexical resources, you need to write something specific. Do not write journal things which are vague in nature. If you write vague ideas, and even if you're using heavy words, you are not helping the examiner and you're not helping yourself. So if you use specific words, even if they're not too heavy, if they are just fine, simple words, that will help you score better, instead of writing these vague words that do not convey any idea. So the entire concept of lexical resources revolves around communication. Are you able to communicate your ideas clearly? Let us go through this body paragraph to study this. The student writes something, some idea which is clearly stated. You can just read it, and the student fails to explain this idea. There is not a specific explanation. Consequently, the lexical resource will be considered low, that the student does not have adequate words to express things in a specific manner. For example, the student writes over here, teaching them an art of living a valuable life would result in the decay of inhuman actions. Now, this seems to have good lexical resource. Valuable life, decay of inhuman actions. That seems good, but that is not what the IELTS is looking forward to. They're looking for explanation, very specific things, and the words to express those specific things. For instance, this education teaches the value of being socially and economically productive member of a society. Criminals not often learn courses in professional skills and are given financial, marketing, business support so that they can become respectable members of the society. Now, the words I have used, they are not difficult. They are really simple. But these words express the idea in a specific manner which the IELTS people want, or in fact, any essay should have. An essay is not a body of difficult words or heavy words that are vague in nature. An essay is a body of words that communicate an idea in a specific manner. Similarly, the student fails in writing very specific things in the following sentences that I've just pointed out here in the comments. Devoid of specific explanation, not specific again. Moreover, does not explain why there is a need for educating the criminals. The student has talked about the forms of awareness, but how do you aware them? So if you're not able to explain these things, you're not using the right words. That clearly sends a message that your lexical resources are weak. So I hope this essay helps you understand the idea of lexical resources in a practical manner, and it must have made things clear that lexical resources is not just about changing the words written in the question statement. It's not just about replacing police with security forces or even safety forces or protection forces. It's more than that. It's a lot more than that. Thank you for watching the video. I hope this was helpful. Subscribe to the channel and click on the link below to read this essay, read the mistakes, and follow my website.